What's going on, guys? I'm here in Nashville in the Mesa shop, which is really funny because it's actually my old shop. Mesa, John and Kyle are the guys who took over my old company, and here we are. These guys are absolutely killing it right now, building out all kinds of commercial and residential carpentry and metalwork projects. And I have actually recently taken on a contract with them, which I'm super excited about, to build 34 tables in about 2 weeks. Now, the catch is I'm going to be doing this either early in the mornings or in the evenings so as not to conflict with their schedule nor my own build schedule. So this is a rush job for a client. John and Kyle and I have negotiated a way that works out. I'm going to be technically a contract employee for them for this time to help them get millwork done. Now, 8-quarter, meaning 2-inch thick red oak tabletops, 2 tops and 4 tops, so 24 by 24 and 42 by 30. This is the beginning. I'm going to try and document it to the best that I possibly can. I'm absolutely thrilled. I love doing millwork. It's been a couple years since I've done a job this big, this quick, with this demand. I love it. So hopefully we can document as much as possible. And this is the first round of board footage right here. S3S, 8-quarter. Let's see what happens. Obviously, just cutting off the checks on the end of the boards and using the Makita skill saw, powered, not battery, to do this. I find it faster than using a miter saw or chopper, as I call them. Definitely would have worn a mask here for dust. I did switch into that later on when I was not filming. Obviously, there's a whole stack of boards here to get through. But the downside of the skill saw is it's incredibly dusty. All right, we have that wall behind me completely cut up into little sections. Show you really quickly. I am quickly realizing that this is a massive undertaking. This is half of the 2 tops rough cut and a 20th of the 4 tops rough cut. And all I've done is taken out the checks, splits, gaps, cracks, any of the punky stuff down here off of 10-foot boards. Our yield's not exactly the greatest, but you can see it's also not terrible getting rid of these. Checks, having a foot drop is not absolutely the worst. We did have one punky board here that got a little funky, and this was in the middle of our board. So I wanted to take that shake all the way out to the end and a little bit past its check line here, which is what that's all about. So now I'm going to go take these over to the table saw because these are S3S, meaning surfaced 3 sides, 1, 2, and the bottom 3. I need to straight line everything before I run it through my planer or my thicknesser, and then I can line them out for my joinery. Running all these boards through planer as a one-man operation is incredibly stressful. I would say this is where it would be nice to have an extra hand in the shop. Luckily, I'm just skim planing and the boards aren't that big, but it would be great to have a helping hand in this scenario. This 20-inch helical head planer is definitely a lifesaver. They operate much quicker and a whole lot quieter than the straight knives. So my method for table saw dimensioning on boards like this is a little different from other people. I like to turn and burn. I still use safe practices when using it, but I bump my fence into position for every board based off of eyeball measurements. And it ends up working very well for me. So far it has. My yield is incredibly efficient. What I do is I'll stack boards in widths of the table, and then I'll pull my tape across the next level that tells me what size board I need to cut. My blanks are 24 inches wide here, all the way up to 25 to 25 and a half. So if I'm at 20, I pull the tape, I know I need a 4-inch board. And here's my waste. You can see it's actually incredibly minimal given the amount of wood that I've been cutting. Identifying your grain pattern is incredibly important. I don't draw on every board. This is dramatized to show you, but make sure in general that the cupping is going to age separately on each board. So I like to do an up, down, up pattern, down, up, down, whichever, so long as down, down, or up are not touching. you're good to go. Now I do an XOX on my boards, you'll see here. And this is for what side of the board will touch my joiner fence. X on fence, O off the fence. And that's so if there's any out of square, even though I set the joiner square every time, if there's any bit that's out of square, the two faces on the joint that glue that have touched the joiner fence are inverted. And finally, we have the clamp out. Now these pony clamps again are on 3/4 inch pipe. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Pony clamp is the best clamp in my professional opinion. I think it's a phenomenal product, incredibly easy to use. Maybe we should be cleaning them more often and taking better care of them. It's nothing that a little bit of sandpaper won't take care of once a year. Simply applying the glue, putting them down, laying them flat, knocking a couple pieces into position, and clamping them tight. 2 under, 2 over. Move on to the next one, making sure to clean up the glue as well. Pretty important step for me because when that metal hits the oak, specifically oak is one of the worst, it will oxidize and it will leave a very deep black, kind of purplish mark that's incredibly hard to come out. Here's a look at the joints. As you can see, pretty clean, pretty flat. Not using dominoes, not using any registration marks, biscuits, or splines. Just good old-fashioned straight joinery, inverting the boards, up, down, up patterns, as you can see here. Plenty of glue, squeeze out, clean up, and the stack has begun. All right, all in all, we had a pretty successful day for a 4.5 hour venture of millwork, predominantly joiner, planer, table saw, and then a fair amount of work on clamps. I'm going to show you what the result is here. About 4 hours of clamp out. We have 7 of the 2 tops completely done. They just need to be dimensioned. And then I like to do these little pre-segment tables. If my finish is 30, I like to do some 15.5s. I can run them through the 20-inch planer again to save a lot of sanding time. We have good squeeze out everywhere. Joints look pretty good. Everything's laying pretty flat. All in all, I'd say it was a pretty good day. Couple boo-boos. I took a staple off the table saw from a board that shot out. And then right here, I don't know if you can see that, I got pinched by some 8/4 raw material and kind of hurt, but no serious injury, just a staple that shot off the table saw from the board into the knuckle. It actually stuck straight out the knuckle. Didn't go very deep, it just stuck. And things I would do differently this time, I would have more clamps. I'm all clamped out. I've also burned through the material that was here, so I'm waiting on a material drop. Obviously, when I do that, I'll release the clamps on round 1. Then the big work begins. This was the easy part. The big work's going to be putting together the 2 sections of the tables, dimensioning and really sanding these things out, getting them through the wide belt sander. Luckily, we have access to a 36-inch time saver, which is a phenomenal tool for sanding tabletops. So this is day 1 of building 30-plus tables in under 2 weeks. We are on a timeline officially now with the client and with the guys here at Mesa. So I'm super pumped to be working with them. Can't wait to show you guys more progress. Again, here is what we got going right now. We will see you tomorrow.